Kidding. Bruce is not here today, so you're stuck with me. This is Todd from the Art of Fire. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How are you? Happy holidays. Hope you had a nice Christmas, a safe Christmas, and that you'll have a safe New Year. This is the 19th episode of the live streaming. We started doing this in place of and when the Maryland Renaissance Festival normally should have started. I went back and counted it, so this is the 19th live streaming for the year 2020. And remember, hindsight is 2020. So, we'll all move forward into 21. Thank you for being with us for these live streaming episodes. They've really become quite the thing to be part of and to share with you, our public, and we thank you again. So, what we're going to start off doing is, I think Todd will probably like to cover some of the things that we're going to be doing today for our last live stream of 2020.
Okay, and I see we already got Patrick, and it's going through, scrolling too fast. Liz, Brittany, Araj, this is your ornament that you won last week. Good morning, Christian, Barbara, Kimberly, everybody who's coming up, and all the ships at sea. We are doing, looks like we're doing lots of tableware, stemware, decanters, flutes. We might even throw a heart. Stemless wine glasses, all the things you need for a celebration for New Year's Eve. And here's some samples of some of our goblets and flutes and mugs. Oh my. Here's the rocking tumbler decanter. And for all the likes, the lucky winner this week is going to win a cobalt blue glug mug. Call that a glug mug because the little pocket down at the bottom holds a little liquid. And it's sort of a puzzle glass. It's one of those things that if you drink it too quickly, that little pocket, the suction will break, and you'll get a nice bib of beverage down your front. Here's our price list for all our things we're making. We just got that put up today. Ain't that pretty? Like I said, this ain't Bruce, so don't think it's going to be smooth or pleasant or anything but painful for you folks. All right, don't forget to like and share and all that stuff. There's Josh.
How's it going today?
How's it going, everybody? And then we got Theta, lead singer and driver of the Winnebago back there on the laptop. All right. So let's not stand around here. We'll get some measurements, and Josh is taking a look at that rocking decanter.
Just getting some sizes on it.
So what's the show us how that functions and why is it a rocker and what does it mean?
Yeah, let's get a good spot on the marker. It's really nice if you have a nice table. Just kind of especially you get some liquid in it.
Yep.
Just will rock around for you without tipping over.
So it wobbles, but it won't fall down.
That's right.
All right. That's a little ring that he put around that. If you remember, not quite like the Saturn ring, but it's part of the vase that gets collapsed around it, and that forms that little lip that the vase is on. So that's kind of a cool piece. We're going to get one of those today. And are we starting with a pair of flutes? Is that right?
That's correct. We're going to start with a pair of blue and green champagne flutes, which are a custom order for our friend Josh Posner up in Boston. And these pair of champagne flutes will get sent to some of his friends who got married earlier this year during 2020. So he's a little late in getting two things, but he is placed the order. So we're going to go ahead and make those glasses for him and send those on to his friends.
Well, okay then.
So I'll pick up. I've got green.
Hi, Mary.
Pick up.
Thanks for letting me know as a rookie I'm doing well. Good morning, Joanna. Good morning, Monique. Good morning, everybody who has already signed in. Brian out there in Sugarland. Howdy doody.
Say hi to my mom. Hi, Mom.
Foster's picking up a chunk of color out of that annealer. That's a 900-degree box. I'm going to kind of go into my old school Renaissance Festival babble.
Welcome
Two.
Fire Glassblowers.
At the Art of Fire. So we got a couple of pieces of color going on here. Let's see.
So I have green colored on initially directly on the end of the blowpipe, and then Josh has got a piece of cobalt blue, and we will drop the cobalt blue on top of the green and work the two colors together. So when we blow the color down into the champagne flute, it will be a transition from green, of course, to blue at the bottom. Todd, I'm going to come past you here, sir.
Thank you, David. I'm trying to do my best, but we'll see how it goes here. Oh, wait.
That's Foster's technique. He patented that.
David Hogan said I've already passed the first test because I got the camera pointed the right way. So Foster just marked that chunk of solid color. That's the green you said, and Josh has the cobalt blue accent. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes, sir.
All right. So he's got you can see the incandescence on that pipe. Now that color's settled up a little bit. Versatile is the word I'd use, Scott. Thank you very much. It says that now that I'm behind the camera, which is getting my better side, of course.
Yes, please.
Now-
Are you ready?
Josh is going to bring over, if I can get everybody's name right, he's going to bring that color over. And we're going to get a real close look at this. And they're just dropping it right on the tip. That is just a heated chunk of green that's going directly on the blue. No layers of clear in between. Everything's going to interact. And now Foster's going to heat that up and marver it. He'll turn that into a single integrated piece of color. Cobalt over the teal green. Let's see. So Renee Jennifer says she's watching on the big screen in the front row. All right, so we're going to watch Foster put this color together. He's going to reset that bubble here in just a moment. And those colors will sort of be banded together.
There you can see that bubble of color expand, which of course is indicative of the bubble being on the inside of the color. All right, so now that we've got that together, we're going to go ahead and get our first gather of glass. Gather that.
Alrighty. Not sure how many times Bruce has shown you guys the furnace here. It's always exciting. There's a gather of cleared over that first layer of color. Now, depending on how long you're out of the furnace and what you're doing with that color and with the clear, you've got a lot of energy to manage. And you got to do your work before it gets too cool, because then you're just out of luck and you got to go reheat. I think you guys have seen the blocks before. We'll put that little repeatable shape into the color and the clear. And that gives a more solid foundation to blow into, and that color is now expanded a little bit into that gatherer clear. It's kind of tough to see with the incandescence in the camera. For some reason, it always looks a little bit brighter with the camera than it does in person, but you can see where that color now is expanded and taken over a greater proportion of that gather itself. Animated commentary. Oh boy. I do not need any encouragement to talk more and say even stupider things, so please, just all right. Never pass on the opportunity to keep your mouth shut. Here we go, second gather. This will be the cup. Now this is a two-part, Foster, or is this stemless?
No, this is the champagne flute.
A champagne flute. So this will be a two-parter. So what Foster will do is use this gather of glass to make the cup and the stem. So he'll manage that bubble, he'll inflate it just a little bit, and then use the remainder of the gather to form the stem for the bottom of this cup. We're just going to stand back here for a little bit and watch this go on. A little skin on the glass. He's got an optic mold that he's going into. That's what puts the ridges into it. Let it slide down in that mold to get the optic impressions. It was a little round when he blocked it, and just by letting it hang and let gravity do some work for him, it stretched and fit into that mold. Now he's going to heat this up again because that optic mold takes heat from the glass. He's going to come back and use the hand tools now to start cutting and shaping. He's going to cut his neckline, and then he's going to start forming that ball on the end. And that's going to be where his stem will form. Now that little indentation, that little constriction, that ball down there is where the foot will eventually end up. But first he's going to reheat it and then stretch that stem a little bit further. We're going to come around the other side to watch that. That might be a little easier to see. Of course, it always requires heat to get the glass moving, so after this reheat, Foster will take this back to the bench. So 2,300 degrees approximately in the glory holes, a little over 2,000 degrees in the furnace, and you just manage that heat to get it to do what you want. Now he's stretching that cup a little bit. You can see now where the color has really drawn out, and now he's going to work that stem over. He's going to cut that neckline near the end of the pipe again. And that's where this piece will separate. Now he's going to pull that stem from that pipe. You can see the clear glass moving as he stretches and turns. Tucker, Georgia. Not sure where that is, but thanks for joining us. Now, these are parchofis that he's using to cool. Now, if you look closely, you can see there's that blue and green starting to really present itself. And the green is still a little bright, a little kind of orangey just because of the heat. But you can definitely see the blue. Now, Foster's going to get some glass to make the foot for this piece. Josh is going to keep the glass hot. Foster is going to get 2 gathers of clear glass, and that's going to be the foot. What he's going to do is drop them on the tip of that stem. Josh is going to hold that cup, that pipe inverted, with the mouthpiece on his toe and the stem of that piece pointing straight up. And here we go. See if we can find a good angle for this. And Foster is cutting that clear glass. Josh is going to hold that vertical. Here we go. Now Foster's going to use what's called a footing board. Those two paddles, one side has a notch, the other is flat. When he squeezes that, creates the foot for this champagne flute. Old school handcrafted glasswork here at the Art of Fire. Yeah, you can. The colors are starting to show up there. Thanks for mentioning that, Denise. You can see the green and the blue. Now Foster's using a small carbon paddle to set that foot. He's going to put a little concave section in it. And what that's going to do is allow that glass to sit nice and level. And that carbon paddle levels the glass without taking a lot of heat from it. Now the trick is to stick a punny in the center of that foot and then crack that glass off that pipe and have everything come off intact. So Josh is going to heat it again. So now he's not only keeping the foot hot, he's also making sure that that neck stays warm enough and the upper half of that vessel stays warm enough that it won't thermal shock on the transfer. This is always a little bit tense moment. I mean, the more you do it, the better you get at it, but you always want to keep things moving quickly in a timely fashion, because the cooler it gets, the harder it gets to make. All right, now Foster will attach that punny to the bottom of the foot. We'll get a little closer in for that too. There we go. Now make sure that everything is centered through the body of that piece. He's going to place a drop of water on the neckline, tap on the pipe, bada boom, bada bing, off we go. Well, it worked in rehearsal. Oh, dang it.
Okay, well, sometimes this happens. The juncture between the foot and the stem was too tentative, and on that percussion, it caused it to separate. Well, it just so happens that we have another set of colors in the annealing oven, and we'll go ahead and do this over again.
And as any good glassblower does, we always blame the assistant. So, way to go, Josh.
Thank you.
All right. Just kidding. They are never going to let me have the camera again. Oh, no, that happens sometimes. And you can see how tentative and how, even with experienced glassblowers like Josh and Foster, how slight variations in materials and things can alter that. And it's just part of the process.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. So comment if you've ever seen that happen to Foster before. It doesn't happen
there you
very
go.
often. But throw in the comments if you've ever seen at the Renaissance Fair a piece fall on the ground. Because that is a pretty that's a treat.
We call it a floor
That's
model.
right, a floor model.
Yep, floor model. There we go.
Doesn't happen very often.
Nope, that's true. It does not happen very often, and that just is a testament to the skill level of the glassblowers here at the Art of Fire. But you know what? That's just how it goes. There you go, Scott. Yes, please do. That's what I get paid the little bucks for. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do another blue over green. All right.
That's right, and don't forget to like, share, and comment so you get entered in to win. What did we give away this week? I don't even remember now.
Cobalt blue glug mug.
That's
Let's go
right.
take a look at that while we're waiting for the process to begin again. So yes, like, share, all that sort of stuff. Comment. Especially now that we've had some fun this morning with our first piece of glass. And yes, the clear glass is recycled. Thank you. Theta's catching up on the comments because I am not fast enough to hold the camera, talk, and read your messages. So there's not enough coffee in the world for me this morning to do this job well. So don't get your hopes up. All right. Same song, second verse. We just hope that it doesn't end worse. All right.
Hey, and it rhymes.
There we go. If it rhymes, it's not true necessarily. All right. I'm going to take a quick sip of water and then another bolt of coffee here.
Is that water? Is that really water?
As far as you know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. All right. So Foster's setting that piece of blue color up again. I'll give you all the beautiful, different, wonderful angles of the Art of Fire that you can see everything. Woo. I feel pretty, oh so pretty. No, I am not a Bruce. I will never be up to that standard of production here. I am not good at keeping you folks entertained, so like I said, don't keep your hopes up. I'm not the show. There we go. So we got the blue and the green together. I found my coffee cup, so I'm going to walk over this way. If I could walk this way, I wouldn't need the coffee. Here we go. Nope. You know what we could do, though? We could set up an audio loop with feedback, and I could just stand there and comment, and it could come through the audio on the speakers. And then I could just stop talking. I'm going to try a little control here, see if I don't screw things up. Oh, that's cool. All right. Woo-hoo. I just found one of the buttons on the handset here, so get ready for some shenanigans, folks. All right. Let's see if I can just stand still. I tell everybody I'm the laziest man in the shop. I don't think they believe me, but it's true. Whoops. All right, so now Foster's got that color set again. And he'll get another gather here to start the ball rolling. Hey, Misty. That's my sister-in-law. Could you please send me a picture of the wine glasses? Are we talking about the ones that that Foster's working on right now? Brittany, is that correct? Bought a last-minute gift on Christmas Eve. Very thoughtful. Thank you very much, Cindy. Can we get a camera on Theta? I'm going to have to get her permission for that, so she gets first right of refusal. Okay, we're just going to let Foster block here for a second and watch what's going on. He's going to cool that down just a touch with that block and then give it a little puff. Whoops.
Oh, the long stems, huh? Cool.
The iridescent ones on the table, please. I'm going to turn around. I think Josh put them on the marvering table for us.
We have a couple different iridescent ones.
Got the long stem black and the copper blue trumpets.
And this is like he's making now, except for it's just a single white with iridescence. And then there's a black.
So there we go. And then the one on the end is our three-part wine goblet. So coming from, as I pan to the left, the three-piece goblet iridized, the champagne flute in white, the copper blue trumpet stems, and then the black iridized long stem wine glasses. So if that helps a little bit, Brittany, judging from my narration, probably not. There's Theta. She waved. Now let's leave her alone. She's busy. All right. So Foster's going to that mold again. We're going to get a little close-up of that thing too so you can see what's happening. Iridescent purple like the black on the end. Yes, Brittany, I think we should probably do something over email or phone call if you would like to get a few more details. Here's the mold.
Yep, and we can even have it made for you while you watch.
That's true. We can do custom orders for you. Whew. This talking's wearing me out. It's not my jam. I think I volunteered for the wrong thing this morning. Here we go. So Foster's got a little wax. You can see the wax combust a little bit on the jacks. And again, cutting that ball. The process is still the same. Sometimes people ask how long you've been making something, and you'll hear us say, oh, 35 years, 36 years, and 15 minutes. And as always, it's not making it that's the hard part necessarily. It's figuring out how to make it that is really the effort. And then doing it as efficiently and effectively as you can is the next challenge. So it's a lifelong process to learn and to master. Alrighty. Another reheat. Now I know how McDermott feels in that Corning video. I got another hour and a half of this. Oh my God. I'll have to call it. Yes, please do, Brittany. We'll definitely put something together for you. But yes, that can be done. And like we said, if you'd like to see it done for a demonstration, we can set that up too. Alrighty. Pulling that stem, keeping the body straight along that axis through the pipe, working through the glass until it gets cool, which is about, maybe a minute, maybe 90 seconds. You get around about 1800, start dropping below 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, and that glass gets really sluggish and difficult to work, and you start risking cracks and breaks and crazing and things like that. And things that make the glass less than pretty. All right. Foster's checking with calipers. He's got the dimensions he's looking for. He's going to give this another flash or two, and then we'll be right back to the foot. Let's see. Boy, I can't keep up with all you guys' comments, but yes, once the pandemic is over, we'd love to see everybody again. It gets kind of lonely in here with just the cats and the same people every day. I'll be tactful. Lonely's the word. So, Foster's going to set that stem again with the Parchophes. Don't forget, share, comment, like. That blue, cobalt blue glug mug is up for grabs, and one way or another we'll figure out who's it's going to, and we'll let you know next week. But you got to like, share, and comment. Alrighty. So we're going back to the reheat again. I start reading the comments to try and keep up, and then I let the camera stay in one place, and it's not good. I don't know how Bruce does this, but
he says, 30 couple years of air traffic controller.
That's true.
He gets used to that.
Roger that. United 1-4, come on in. All right, now Foster's got the glass for the foot again. Josh, going to bring that stem over. Again, point it straight to the ceiling. Get it vertical so that foot lands. And you can really see the color through the sunlight right now. It's a really pretty combination of blue and green there. There we go. Now we got the backlight. We got the foot coming down. Quick shear. And now Foster's going to spin that foot out again. A little closer. Just distributing the glass a little evenly all the way around the body is going to give that just a squeeze. And that foot just forms just like that. A little pressure, a little energy, a little heat. Who won last week? That was Brittany Raj, and she got the green gnome ornament. I can hear my voice in the background.
Yeah, keep it listening.
I should probably start smoking just so I don't sound like I'm still in 8th grade. And Foster's putting the foot straight. You want fries with that? I sound like the kid who works the drive-in on The Simpsons.
There you go.
All right, so there's the foot. Josh is going to flash it. Foster's going to make the punny. This is the gnome ornament that Brittany won. Josh and Bruce's handiwork there. Little cane work drawing on the face of that ornament. Little two-tone ornament. Those are really pretty. Just put those together this year. That's a brand new item. So Foster's coming back with the punny. Josh is going to hold that flashed piece of glass. Of course, that flash is that brief heat that keeps the neck warm and the foot solid and everything together. Here we go. Punny's going to be attached. Drop of water on the neck. Quick tap and turn, and off we go. Ta-da! Alrighty. And now Foster is going to give that a little heat. So he's introducing heat into the top of that piece now to get that moving again. Have we ever measured how far we walk? I've worn a pedometer a couple of times, and I got close to 1.5 miles, I believe. But sometimes I take my phone out of my pocket, so I'm not carrying it. I don't get an accurate amount, but I'd say probably in the neighborhood of 7,000 to 8,000 steps is what seems familiar. You guys do a ton of road work, yes. Yeah, Carol, that's a good point. Phones and things like that, especially in your front pocket when you're gathering and stuff like that. I've had my phone overheat.
Yeah, I used to wear an Apple Watch, but it kept overheating.
Yep.
So I had to stop wearing it.
And we even have to put a cool pack on the back of this camera in order to keep it from overheating while we're filming, because it's just facing the heat for 2 hours steady. All right, so you can see that Foster's got the mouth open slightly. He did a little trim with the shears, and that's what keeps that lip level. You see him doing a couple of reheats here. He's going to take that back to the bench again. Successful transfer, yes indeed. Like one of the test gnomes. Would you sell me one? I don't even know if we have any of the samples left over. I could take a look. Oh, someone, I didn't catch the name, but someone was asking about getting one of the test gnomes that we did as the prototypes. Maybe we just do a really crappy one and maybe we... All right, I'm just gonna stop now. Oh, I'll see what we have in the back. Yeah, it's interesting, Laura, you mentioned the colors when it's hot, and sometimes you don't get that full bloom of color until the piece comes out of the annealer the next day. Are the furnaces at different temperatures, and what's the temp range, Cindy? Yes, so the Glory Hole, the reheating furnace, is up at around 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's why we get that really nice, bright, white, orange glow. The glass in the furnace ranges at around 2010, 2030, somewhere in that range. So the furnace is a little cooler. That also helps us maintain that furnace for a lot longer. Higher heat, greater energy, and that thing just starts to tear itself apart. Glass is such a corrosive material already.
That's pretty darn good.
All right, so is that done, Foster?
It is done.
All right, so Foster's finished that. He's going to knock that off the punny. He's going to put a glove on to put that away, and then we'll be on to the next piece. So a little drop of water on that punny juncture. That cools it just a bit. He's going to knock that off into that little wooden cradle. Little tap. Breaks clean.
Put my handy dandy glove on. Oh, there you
Foster's got it.
go.
So he's going to set that in the annealer. Long walk to the back row there. Now we were discussing temperatures earlier. So the annealing ovens run at approximately 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what these boxes are. These are a very porous silica brick. Now these bricks in particular that we have on this box run at around 2300 degrees Fahrenheit rating. So they're good to insulate, and above that temperature they're going to start degrading a little bit too much. Yeah, let's get some likes and some shares and some comments and all that good stuff. Now this is the annealer that Foster placed that piece in he just made. You can see that cup, that piece of stemware sitting back in that corner. So 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That will help this glass anneal. What we're doing when we anneal is at the end of the day, we'll turn these ovens off, let the glass cool slowly overnight. So from 900 in the morning down to about 250 or so. And that allows all that stress from those molecules in the glass to sort of rebound back to a nice stable state. The glass gets stretched and pulled and heated and compressed, and we need to let it sit and rest for a moment, let those molecules kind of lose some of that energy. There's a lot of compression and tension. If you don't anneal it right, that glass will break. And as we walk by some of these buckets, you might have heard a little pop, and that's the glass popping off the irons itself. Well, thank you everybody for the likes and the shares and everything. How does the heat get into the annealers? Good question, Bridget. Those are, as everything in the studio is, gas-fueled propane. We have a little burner block, and then we mix some oxygen with the fuel and light that off and just let that run. Foster, are you going to say something?
Nope, I was just listening to you.
Oh, that's no good. All right, well, what fun that is listening to me. I'm getting tired of hearing myself already. Here is the, in case you're interested. So this is almost like a miniature furnace. We just have a little burner block that you can see on the left-hand side, and then the mixer valve is that inverted T. The air comes in through the white PVC line. The gas comes in through the black pipe. We mix it, light it, and let that warm up. So 900 degrees here, 2300 degrees over here. In these glory holes, these reheating furnaces, that's why they have such that brilliant incandescent glow to them. And then of course the furnace a little over 2000. Now Josh, are you going to make that Josh is going to make a Pilsner for us now. Do we build these ourselves, Carol? Yes, we do. We build all our own equipment. We build the furnaces, we build the glory holes, the annealers, everything. It's just a good way to know the equipment, and it does save us on some of the cost of buying equipment that somebody else has made themselves. So we do that. We do the construction. We study a little bit of combustion, and we have some good references that we go to, people here in the States that have access to those things, that information. Take some folks' designs and use their plans and build our own equipment with that.
John, you haven't mentioned our new decor.
Oh, I was hoping we could get by without that one. I'm not sure of all the story behind this. I think this came from my younger brother and his wife. Make up your own story with that one. I'm just staying away from that.
It's one of those family jokes.
There you go. It's a family joke. All right. Well, thank you, Joanna. We're glad you're enjoying the show. How many hours a day do we spend here, Cindy asks. Well, it's 40 hours a week, plus or minus, depending on what's happening on the weekends. We got orders from we get orders from you folks, which we greatly appreciate. We have some shops around the country that we make glass for, and we do lots of different orders for different folks. So, word of mouth, as always, is a great advertising. Repeat customers, we hope that you'll become one. And we just do our best as far as customer satisfaction and the quality of our product to help get the word out. And of course, you folks, when you like, share, and comment, that always helps a lot too. So Josh, tell us again what you're making.
So we're going to be making a Cobalt Pilsner glass. This as well is for Josh Posner. He ordered a couple pieces. And we started out with some Cobalt Blue. But you can see all the colors when they get hot. It just kind of looks orange. So we always get that question, do you make anything besides orange glass?
And the answer is no.
That's all we make.
It's the only color we can get. It's just that incandescence, and that just lets us know that the glass is hot enough, and that's what we need is heat. Alrighty. Don't remember seeing the potty humor. Well, you just haven't been in a while, Mary.
What's that? What's the question?
She said, I don't remember seeing the potty humor. And I thought it was something that we just did every day. We just finally have a two-dimensional representation for us.
I'm just curious, like, what's on the ground? What is that? Is that eggs or?
It does look like eggs, doesn't it? Like I said, fill in your own comments. I'm staying away from that. Here we go. Something for everyone. I hope so.
That's right.
There's a saying that goes about that, about something in every seat. And I'll just let you fill in the blank on that one too. All right.
I mean, both my kids, one of the best books was Everybody Poops.
Everybody poops. That's right.
I think that's going to be the title of that meeting now.
Yeah.
Everybody Poops.
Everybody poops. That's the done today. I don't remember seeing the potty humor. And I saw something about Amy. It's her favorite color. I didn't know if that was a poem or a limerick, but yes, Cobalt Blue is really beautiful. It's one of the most popular colors out there.
Absolutely.
Cobalt Blue, Cranberry Pink, Copper Ruby. My personal favorite is Cerulean Blue, but that's just me. Alrighty. Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? So Josh is going to heat this up. Again, it's always a matter of managing that energy and keeping the glass moving and knowing where the heat is and how to get to it and what to make it do. Mary Hallbecker, I don't give a crap. Oh boy, and here we go.
There we go.
The game is afoot.
I like that, Mary. That's a good one too.
Oh, thank you, Bridget. She's in the Cerulean Blue camp with me. Oh, because my car broke, Rachel. That's not good. I hope your car's fixed. How many different colors can you make? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. That's, we'll start there. And the shades in between. Imposter, you are not Santa. That's true. I know Bruce Ferguson. I've worked with Bruce Ferguson, and I, ma'am, am no Bruce Ferguson. All right. So Cindy, seriously, oh my God, is that? Oh, okay. I saw your picture. And I thought it was something from. What's the? Now I'm blanking. Bob Belcher. Bob's Burgers. I thought it was Louise with the rabbit ears. Sorry, I digress. Get ready for that. The more tired I get, the more further off topic I'll become. So God knows where we'll end up. I sit on a throne of lies. Yes, I do. Got it at Wolf's Furniture before they went out of business. Half price. What is the most expensive color rod? You know, there's a good punchline in there, and I don't know if I can get to that today. The most expensive colors, would that be one of the gold base, like a...
Yeah, gold based. Gold aventurine is actually pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Goldstone.
Yeah,
Way off topic, David. I haven't even started, man. I bet Bruce is worried about his shot. I don't think so. I would say just the opposite, Patrick. I don't think he has anything to worry about. I think all anybody wants, especially me, is for this 2 hours to end quicker. Oh, yay! So my Louise at Bob's Burgers reference did not go unnoticed. Thank you, Cindy. Yep, we love that show. Well, when I say gold, Bridget, what they do is use metals to make the colors. And that's the crackle pattern. That was a real quick dip in the water. And now closer up, you can see that texture really showing up. So interestingly, if you guys want to hear me go diverge off topic slightly. So when glass was first melted, you had all the impurities that were just in normal beach sand. And then the game became who could get the clearest glass first. So they took as many impurities out of the glass as they could identify, and that left them with what became known as crystal glass. Now, crystal in the US means something different. It usually means lead crystal. But if you say crystal to an Italian glass blower, he knows that you mean clear, uncolored glass, cristal. Now, after all the clear glass issues were solved, the next problem became, well, we're tired of this clear glass. How do we get colors back into it? So they slowly reintroduced the different, what were at the time contaminants, in order to find out what would be a really pretty color addition. And they started throwing those things back in, the copper, the iron. They tried gold, and again, depending on what you're doing and what combinations, you can get those different colors with the different concentrations of minerals and metals that you're throwing back in. So glass truly is an alloy, because we're putting all these things back in and trying to get them all to work together. Now, what you just saw was Josh picking up a patty foot. Foster took some gathers out of the furnace. He dropped that on as a disc onto the marvering table. And now with the same sort of tool Foster was using before, that footing board, Josh is going to squeeze and make a foot for this piece. You see that cobalt blue body? The foot's starting to spin out. Josh is going to do the same thing that Foster did. He's just going to level that foot. He'll apply some pressure with the jacks. He's making a little dimple in the bottom. We're just going to stretch just a little bit, or lean against that foot just to make a little more of a dome-shaped foot. So now he's got a disc, a spun foot on the bottom of this piece. And just like with Foster's piece, we're going to stick a punny to it. So Josh is keeping the piece warm and stable. Foster is making a punny on a solid rod. He's going to then bring that over to Josh to apply to the bottom. Josh will place a drop of water on the neck, tap the pipe, and the glass will separate from the pipe at the neckline. So we'll get the punny attached once things are nice and stable. Get the temperatures nicely aligned. There goes the punny, smack dab in the middle. And Josh is just making sure that it's stable and centered while Foster keeps the pipe rotating. Now, little pinch, tap, there we go. So, again, little heat, get the glass back on a little more energetic level, especially near the top. right, so now Josh has got some heat on the top of that piece. He's going to bring it back to the bench and open that lip up, because right now, where he had that constriction to make the neckline, you can see that's just a little hole. And we made it that way because that's what makes that neck break so precisely and cleanly. Now he's just going to work on the shape of this Pilsner. It's a nice cylinder right now. He's going to turn that into a little bit more of a taper. Contact tap separation. We have acolyte separation. That is a affirmative. Well, you know, that's interesting, Barbara, that sometimes that does happen. Now, what you're doing when you do a crackle finish, the glass is warm enough, hot enough that only the water has an impact on the outer layer of glass, and the remainder of the body remains pliable just because you've maintained the heat throughout the piece. As long as it's hot, that's correct. So, it looks like we're pretty close to finish. Is that about ready to take off, Josh?
We'll probably do one more time just from the outside to clean it up.
Famous last words.
That's right.
Here we go. Now, this piece is in very capable hands. Sometimes what happens, you do a little more touch-up, and that's when you...
Yeah, that's when you lose it.
When gravity takes its toll. So a little cleanup here by Josh. A little straighter, a little wider mouth, a little straighter body, and got a beautiful cobalt Pilsner footed glass. Compliments of Josh Ries at the Art of Fire. All right. That looks nice. You can see again the color against that black backlighting. Getting ready to knock it off? You're going to knock it off into the box or into Foster's hand?
Oh, knock it off in the Foster's hand.
Okay, here we go. And there we go. Into the annealer next to the piece that Foster made earlier, the little champagne flute, the blue-green champagne flute. And again, 900 degrees in the annealer, that keeps all the glass stable. Little gratitude, little applause, hands, likes, hearts, shares, comments, whatever. You know the stuff that Bruce says that I can never remember. That's what we're looking for. I don't know nothing, man. I know I just got an hour and 5 minutes left of Babylon. Woo!
Some of the cool stuff on the table.
Some of the cool stuff on the table. What a good idea. So here are the pieces we've got. Once again, the gnome ornament that Brittany won from last week for the comments, compliments, shares, etc., etc. Underneath that, we got a set of stemless wine glasses in green frit. And then we've got a couple of cobalt blue whiskeys up front here. We got some three-piece goblets in what looks to me like a, number 30. What is that one? Can't think of that color for, not aventurine. Anyway, I'll get back to that. It'll flash into my head. Some red martinis right in the middle. The rockin' glass, the rockin' decanter from Josh. Here is our cobalt blue glug mug. That's what's up at stake today. The likes, comments, compliments champion for this week is going to get a beautiful cobalt blue glug mug delivered to them. Back behind that, you can see, peeking through, is a cobalt Pilsner, just like the one Josh just made. We've got a lapis confetti mug, barrel mug up front. Looks like gold crackle tankard, another confetti in orange, and then we've got a little more stemware. That's the three-piece goblet in black and iridized. A white champagne flute, a purple, that looks more like purple. I don't think that's, that's definitely the violet trumpet. No, champagne flute. And then, of course, the ornaments that we've been making over the past couple of weeks. So, we've got the Pilsner Cobalt done. We've got the pair of flutes in blue and green. Looks like the decanter is coming next. So don't forget to like, share, comment, all those things. The rocking decanters are extremely collectible. That is true, Patrick. These are sort of a one-off item that we haven't made in a really long time. So this one will probably be very unique, and that's a good point. We have not made these in a while. So if you like it when you see it, you may want to shout dibs real quick and let us know. The confetti is very interesting. Yes, that is a color grouping that Josh put together for us. And actually looking at the proportions of colors in nature, and it's actually a very scientifically defined group of colors because it's very aesthetic and very pleasing. So a little mix of science there, a little psychology for those colors. I know it sounds kind of complicated, but or maybe I'm making it just sound that way. But yeah, you know, sometimes the proportions of yellows to purples and those things happen in nature, in flowers, and it's just the way that they are able to attract pollinators. So strange and unique things that make glass beautiful, that's sort of subtle to all of us. Whew. All right, so we're just getting a little planning session here, getting ready for the design. It's going to be a trailed piece, Josh. You're going to put it.
Yeah, we're going to do it just like that decanter, except we're going to do it in cobalt blue.
All right.
All the talk of cobalt, just.
Is that going to be a cobalt thread?
Yep, cobalt thread.
All right, so let's go back and take a look here. Now, Josh has got a slightly larger pipe.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. Was somebody asked about the different sizes of pipes, and just a larger diameter helps me get a larger amount of glass.
So this is probably a 1 1/4, maybe 1.5 inch pipe.
Yep.
Our standard workhorse pipe is about a 1 inch diameter. Oftentimes we'll use a 3/4 inch for ornaments. And then the bigger you go, of course, the bigger gathers you get, and it just sort of makes the system work a little bit quicker because you've got a bigger surface area to start with. Did you ever do colored stems on wine glasses, or is it always clear? That's a good question, Kristen. Sometimes it depends on what the piece is. If it's a flute like Foster made earlier, you're going to pull the stem from the gather of clear, so those are typically clear. You can run a gather through some frit, the finer bits of color, and that will add some color to the stem. Now, once you pick up color, then you've got to melt that color in, and then you've got to keep the entire stem hot so that it flows. So you change the timing occasionally on what you're doing in order to add color. And you can do the same thing with the foot. We actually have the pumpkin goblets that Josh makes, and those will have the aventurine green stem and foot. And here I'm just looking back at the annealers. Let's get back to the action here. So Josh has got his first gather. He's going to put a bubble in that. Now on a standard 1 inch pipe, this gather would probably be closer to an oversized golf ball. But what we have here on this larger pipe, something that's approaching the size of the old school Nerf football that they used to throw out at high school football games when I was a kid. Oh yes, that's where they were talking. I need a cigarette. Oh, all this talking is making my throat dry, so I'm going to get a glass of water. Foster is heating the color thread that will go on the outside of the body. Well, I said it in a minute, David. Talking's not my thing, contrary to popular belief. See, I've lost track of things, and I'm just looking at Foster's workstation here with nothing going on. It is pretty cool, Bridget, to watch that process go, and it's one of those things that when you're when you're teaching, that you've got to let the students know that they need to trust the process, because it doesn't always happen immediately. But if you get the glass hot enough and you apply the proper amount of pressure, everything's going to work out just fine. Now, are you going to case that piece of color? So Foster's going to put a little gather of clear over that cobalt blue. And what I like to say is the difference between a cased trail and an uncased trail is sort of like the difference between a ballpoint pen and a felt tip pen on paper. A cased trail is like a ballpoint pen. You get a very fine line. An uncased trail is going to spread and bleed out a little bit because there's nothing to contain it. And the colors being, generally speaking, typically softer than the clear glass, with some exceptions, that color is going to want to flow really, really easily across that body of clear glass as it heats up. Now, Josh has got his second and final gather clear glass, and he's going to cool that and set it. And in between him blowing and shaping this out, Foster is going to bring that gather of cobalt over and put a spiral thread all the way down the body of this piece. Now, are you going to do this at the bench or at the threader?
We'll do it at the threader.
So the threader being the contraption that's over against the wall, and I'll show you that in just a second. You can apply threads of color in different manners, one of them being the threader, which we'll see here momentarily. The other, when I asked if he was going to do it at the bench, would mean Foster just brings the color back over Josh's right shoulder, and he points that chunk of color where Josh can grab it and then apply that to the body of the piece. Now, Josh would have to manually move that glass across the body as he turns the pipe. The advantage of the threader is that there are a set of wheels on that thing. I'm going to go take a look at that now. These wheels have been mounted and are adjustable so that as you turn the pipe, it actually feeds itself. And you can see Josh putting a little thread of chalk as he turns that pipe, and those wheels just feed that glass in to make that thread. Now, Foster is bringing that chunk of blue color that he's melted. He'll bring that over here shortly. It's going to come back across.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Set the thread on that little yoke that Josh just adjusted, and they will touch up and make that thread wrap around that body. And here we go. And you can see, I'm going to keep the camera steady so you can see that feed through. Now we'll move back across. So just having that pipe on those wheels allowed that glass thread to be applied evenly. And I apologize for the camera motioning back and forth here. I'm trying to keep it level and not doing well. You can see that thread now, how crisp and tight that is. Really nice. And how rich that blue is in that very concentrated manner. Well done. All right, now Josh took a couple extra seconds for me to show that camera up close, and what we need to do, what he needs to do, is throw the heat back into that so that it will melt and become, again, integrated into that piece of clear glass underneath. Very nice, Bridget. Yes, it's a very controlled and crisp line on that.
Uh-oh.
She mentioned that the thread makes her OCD. It satisfies her OCD. Indeed. All right, now, again, everything's got to be heated back up to a uniform temperature in order for that glass to expand in a concentric and uniform manner, which means not only the thread on the outside, but the gathers underneath, the layers of glass, the glass as you get closer to that core, that's where it starts to cool. And in order for that bubble to expand evenly, it means that you have to get the core of that glass hot again. So take some thorough reheats here, bring the glass back up to temperature, and you can see everything's flowing nice and evenly now. And that thread is wrapped. It'll be a little more easier to see as the glass cools as the differences in temperature appear. So a large cherrywood block to get that Parazon shape back in. You can see where the thread started, and then how by turning and pulling and bringing it forward and back, we get that really pretty unique and uniform trail all the way down. He's going to inflate that a little bit more. I'm guessing he's going to probably stretch this here in a moment too, but he needs to put in the neckline as well. So there's the neck that he's applying, creating with the tips of those jack blades. Heat is everything. Heat is energy. That's what we need here. And as this glass starts to cool, you got to go back and reheat again. And then he'll selectively cool again using the marvering table, sometimes the pad of wet newspaper. And then once he gets the heat where he wants it, that's when Josh knows he can apply the pressure to either blow or shape or form. Do I have a hairball? Every day, Mary. Thank you. I don't know why it's your comments that I always jump to immediately. Must be the masochist in me. So he's going to stretch that a little bit. Again, gravity and heat. This is how glass vessels have been made for thousands of years, using heat, gravity, centrifugal force, and hand tools, wielded by the glass blowers who have applied this craft. These traditions and techniques have been passed down from glassblower to glassblower. This is literally living history that you're seeing in the making here. Any glassblower who's making glass by hand is standing on the shoulders of those glassblowers who have been doing this for the past decades and centuries and millennia. Oh, David, if you only knew the comments that we make when the camera is off. That's why we don't have webcams here. We don't have webcams and we don't have an HR department. There's a reason for that too. Now I'm stepping back a little bit because I'm going to get a sip of water and a dash of coffee. So just bear with me. You don't want to know. That's true, Susan. Thank you. Hi, Susan. Now, Josh set aside that piece because he needs to get that little flare, that little flange that the bottle will, or the decanter will use to roll upon. And that's the tricky part. All right, got my sip of water. Not guaranteeing it's going to help. So Josh is going to start setting that little lip in order to get this formed. You can see how he's using those jacks first to cut that midsection, and then he's got the jacks set at different edges, different levels on the glass, different lengths in order to squeeze that out. Then he's going to blow back into this to get it to reinflate. Another reheat. We're going to come back from the other side, see if that's a little easier to see. There's a lot of subtlety into what's enough heat and what's too much. And sometimes you got to walk that tightrope to get things just right. You can see the flange starting to take shape now. And Josh doing a little more handwork with those jacks. There we go. And when we say our glass is handcrafted, we mean it. You can see it right here. A little bit more, he says. So we're going to see just what else is going to make that flange just a little bit tighter, a little more distinct.
Yeah, so it's really important. You got to really make sure it's touched up all the way around, because once I get it squeezed, we can actually blow it out. And if it's not touched up, it kind of makes like little openings in the ring.
So right now you're just, not only are you forming the ring, but you're sealing it from the bubble on the inside.
Yeah, so when you put liquid in it, there shouldn't be any liquid in the actual ring.
Now you can see that ring is really distinctive now, and basically it's sitting at the bottom of this decanter. Once he starts to inflate it, it's going to expand out a little bit more, and that'll create the bottom that this piece rolls on. So a lot of work just to make that little flange. But that's what makes this piece rock and roll. Oh, well, thank you, Amy. It's a pleasure and a challenge to try to do this without, one, panning too fast and making everybody sick, and B, me talking way too much and sounding even stupider than I am in real life. All righty.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Very nice.
So what we learned over the years is you really have to get the right angle. Otherwise it tips over or it doesn't lean over enough to give you the rock beat.
So high-tech, finely engineered
That's right.
cardboard with metal duct tape. We spare no expense.
Expertise at its finest.
There we go. Oh no, I can't keep up, Mary. What's not true this time? Probably something I said. If you can't, what's this saying? If you can't baffle them with, yeah. Is Theta there today? Yes. Hi, Aunt Marion. How you doing? Theta is here. She's behind the computer. Being the brains of the operation that she is, that's probably the best place. There she is. She's got Sparta on her lap and a song in her heart. Oh, 12:13, only 47 minutes to go. Oh! Oh, that's very kind of you. I don't sound any stupider than I sound in real life.
Is that what somebody wrote?
Yes, David, she is indeed on her throne. The brains of the operation, like I said. She's the one who makes it work. I just stand where I'm told to stand and make what I'm told to make.
That's right.
All right.
There's a little more expansion in the bottom.
So Josh is just working out that equation of ring to bottom ratio that is graphically defined in that piece of cardboard. Keep that piece of cardboard in the safe, locked away, for the next time we'll make one of these rocker decanters. There is no substitute for experience and practice. That's how these pieces get made, not through those little contraptions that we make to make it easier, but the knowledge gained from making these pieces over and over. Makes it a little easier to do, but you still got to do it by hand. Whoops. There we go.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Good. Yeah, right.
Not bad.
Not terrible.
Not terrible.
Not terrible.
That's right. The Art of Fire mantra. All right, so you know what's next. The punny. Now, typically you see us flatten pieces in order to have a little dimple because we want these pieces to sit square on the table, and this is just the opposite. We want this piece to sit on a rounded form in order to make it that rockin' and rollin' decanter. You can see Foster's getting that punny prepared. He's going to bring it over. Josh is going to stick it to the bottom in the center. Tap a drop of water, tap the pipe. Bada boom, bada bing. And again, that little drop of water in that region where the glass was a little cooler, that clean, distinct neckline allowed that piece to break cleanly right where he wanted it to. Try to control as many variables as you can in this process. But as you saw earlier today, sometimes they don't go as planned. But again, that's part of the learning process. Oh, got some likes and shares. Don't forget, like, share, comment. That cobalt blue glug mug is on the line. So your likes, comments, and shares run through our analytics, our very complicated vote counter. Whichever square of litter box the cat poops in. I'm just kidding. It's not that scientific. I'm not going to be allowed to be on the camera again. That's probably for the best. So once Josh gets a little more heat in that lip, and again, because that lip has been attached to the pipe, it's been the coolest part of this piece of glass, and cool is relative. We're talking about something that might be 16 or 1700 degrees versus 22 or 2300, depending on where you are in the process. So Foster's paddling to level the lip. Josh is using the jacks to straighten that neck. Looks good. And there's our...
You can see it just sit at that right angle,
Yep.
hit that lip, and just kind of roll around.
There we go. It's kind of weird. We can see her face right through the body of that thing, too.
Is that right?
Yeah. Hooray! Got some thumbs up, some applauses, some hearts, all that good stuff. Oh, and I left my sound making machine somewhere else.
Oh.
All right, no more of that. Here we go. A little tap of water on the bottom, tap on the pipe, and into the annealer it goes. And even now you can probably see it's going to sit on that edge.
There it is.
And there it is. Oh, it's kind of tough to see. There we go, in the annealer. So,
Hey.
that's where we are right now. Yes, indeed. Very well done indeed.
Thank you, thank you. Applause.
Woohoo! Clap, clap. Got some hearts and some claps and some all that sort of stuff. All right, what's next?
What's next?
Indeed, what is next? Should we go take a look? Look, come on and walk over with me. Let's all go take a look at the big board and see what's coming next. We got the rockin' decanter. We got the paraflutes and the cobalt pilsner for Josh. We got the decanter. Oh, we got a heart, and that means I'm up. So I'm going to put a pipe up and try not to disappoint you folks out here in the middle of Damascus in the Ag Reserve where we are. And I'm going to turn the camera over to,
By yourself or what?
I don't know who.
What are you comfortable with?
Are you doing the heart, Josh, or do you want me to do the heart?
Doesn't matter to me.
You want to take a break from making?
Or do you want to take a break from talking?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, so Todd's gonna. Wait.
Come on with me.
That's right.
All right, let's put a pipe on. So we should get some grip.
Yeah, I put out some.
Yeah,
some of that. Some of that. So that's what, a peach color
Yes.
with cranberry color.
Yes.
Absolutely. Gotta have a heart, Todd.
Gotta have a heart.
Gotta have a heart in there somewhere, right?
Okay.
That's right, payback time.
That's right.
That's right. David Hogan says payback time.
Have at it, baby. So this is one of the few pieces that we actually use a mold to form it. And that's because it's hard. You've got those two lobes and then the taper down to the bottom. So it's hard to do. You can do it by hand, but this larger piece, and it actually has a story behind it. The mold that we have was we did a replacement piece for a family. It was a memorial piece for one of their children. And we took the original, which had broken, and we had a mold made from that. So we had something that was faithful to the original piece. And we've since used that mold. And I'll show you in here. Where'd that thing go?
I think Foster moved in. And Todd's never talked out. Todd can always talk.
So, here's our mold. With little holes drilled in it for steam and that sort of thing. But you can see.
It's upside down now, so
This is what the
there
heart
you go.
look like. So we do. We make this piece upside down and then we plenty up and finish it by hand. As I like to say, this is what the view from underneath the bleachers looking straight up there.
So Kimberly asks, what is your favorite piece to make of all time? So what's your favorite piece to make?
The next piece.
That's right.
Pendactically. Let's see. I don't even know. Favorite piece.
The piece that just sold.
There you go. I kind of jokingly say the next piece I'm going to make because I always try to keep a little something ahead of me. And right now I have a piece that I would like to make for a customer of mine who's been a customer for 10 years. We've done contract work. I've made awards for them, so I'm going to make something special for their 10-year relationship that we've been making glass together. So that's my favorite piece, but I can't tell you what it is because I'm not sure what it's going to be.
Yeah, I'd say I just actually made a piece for a family where I actually took a piece of driftwood and pressed glass onto it. And the glass took the shape of the driftwood. And it was a really pretty piece, so it was just something different. So that's what I enjoy, just trying new things.
That's what I would say too.
Yeah. How about you, Foster? What's your favorite piece to make?
Probably the champagne flutes, because they are used by the wedding couples to celebrate their union, and we think that that's really a very special thing to be able to do for them, is have their customized champagne flutes tailored to the colors that the bride is doing her wedding around.
Yeah, that's a really good, really nice sentiment. We really love that as well. So here are some of the pieces from our table that you can order. We have those long stem, and these are all $147 a pair. You can see the aqua color back there, the kind of wine glasses. Here's the 3-piece goblets. Nice set of martinis in the red color. We can even do a 3-piece in the kind of that multicolor mix. We also have the rocks glasses. We can do any color you like, and these are $80 a pair, along with the Pilsners, which are also $80 a pair. And we really do love that. We share some of the stories that you use some of our glass with your family or friends. Now somebody asked about the mold. All of our wood tools that we use are actually made from usually cherry wood, just like that heart mold that you can just see down there, along with all the different wood paddles and blocks. They're all made from a cherry wood. So that's just a piece of wood that's been carved out. And the nice thing about that fruit wood is it holds a lot of water. So that water keeps that wood from burning away. And we can actually use these tools a long time if you take care of them.
Okay, so Cindy, were you the one who mentioned the OCD and the thread?
Oh, with the cobalt thread on the
Yeah.
decanter?
So here's how anal I am. I could easily make this at hard at Josh's bench, which it was where everything is set up to do. But I'm so anal retentive, I'd rather work at my bench because I'm more comfortable with it. So I'm changing the whole setup, and that's why we're all having to babble right now, is to tap dance around me wanting to move to my bench. So, boo-hoo for me, here we go.
So Jonathan, we actually have, he's actually a glass worker that started making molds. I believe his name's Ries and Foster,
What's that?
the mold maker, our block maker, mold maker.
Oh, Art Reed.
Yeah, Art Reed. He's up in New York, correct?
Sweetwater glass.
Yeah, Sweetwater Glass. So he makes some really nice tools. We used to have a mold maker named Walter Evans, and he since has passed away. So he kind of passed it on. I believe he actually passed on a lot of his techniques to Art, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yeah.
So that in itself is actually an artisan skill, just making the molds for the glass blowers.
So we get a free block every time we say Art Reed. Art Reed. And advertising.
So Cindy wasn't the OCD one, but she does appreciate the shout out, Todd.
Okay.
Yeah, we do love the multicolor as well. And they used to call that the end of the day color because they used to take all the leftover scraps and just mix them all together. And at the end of the day, they would make a piece out of it, and it would be that kind of multicolor end of the day piece.
You know, I think I usually do these. I get my two together before I blow it up. I think I'm doing this all wrong.
Well, Patrick, you never asked to make a piece. You're more than welcome to make a piece next time you come in for the people. Patrick said he was jealous that he didn't get to make a piece when he was the cameraman.
Like Josh said, man, you didn't ask.
So please like, share, comment. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us if you have any of our glass and how it's being used. You can even share a picture or send us a picture. We'd love to see that.
Yeah, I do. I think I get too solid, then I blow it out. After I put the color on.
So yes, Cindy, we actually have a mix where Todd, if he sees a piece of color sitting around the studio, he actually throws it into his mix jar and he makes the multicolor. And it's a great way to recycle the glass, but it's also a beautiful color. So you can actually see picking up that frit. You can see it sticks to the hot molten glass. Cindy, actually one of the people that come in and work here named Ramiro made that diamond mold for us. He actually went to a place in Virginia called Nova Labs, and it's a great little artisan center where they show you how to weld, make different tools, woodwork. They actually do electronics, and they actually helped him make that diamond mold. Well, thank you, David. Send us a picture of all your pieces sitting in the windows. Yeah, that's a great way. At home, we actually hang them in our windows as well. Really catch that natural light. So Todd's using that marvering table, and he's twisting that glass. You can actually see I gave it a little bit of a swirl. And he's actually going to finish that swirl using diamond shears. So he's actually grabbing the end while he turns in one direction, and it actually causes those dots of frit to twist. A little bit of air expands that bubble. Now you're watching Todd Hansen at the Art of Fire. My name's Josh. Foster's over to my left. You'll be seeing him work in just a minute. Now, if there's pieces you see, but you want a different color, feel free to contact us. We're happy to make pieces in different colors, and we'll help you with those custom orders. We're also happy to help you with any purchases or gifts. You can give us a call, 301-253-6642, or send us a message on Messenger, or even send us an email. So Todd's using those jacks to make a constriction. Now this is really important. If we don't have that constriction, the piece will never separate from the pipe. And I don't think you want to walk around with a 4-foot pipe on the end of your heart. Marion, Happy New Year's to you. Here's the 2021. It's going to be a great year.
Oh yes, thank God 2020 is over. Almost. So that just makes it fit into that mold a little more easily.
So that neckline, you can tell Todd's working on it quite a bit because that's very, very crucial, especially fitting inside this mold. Let's see if we can find the best place. Todd, what's the most difficult piece you make?
Difficult piece I make.
Yeah. What do you think's the most challenging, toughest piece? So here we're inside the mold. Todd's squeezing that mold so it doesn't open, and he's blowing pretty firmly. It takes a lot of pressure to fill out that mold. Kick open. And there we have that heart shape.
I'd say the most difficult piece.
I say your Marini pieces are pretty difficult.
Yeah,
There's a lot of work that goes into
lot.
those.
Yeah, I was thinking about combining a Marini and a cane piece together, and then the pickup. Yeah, probably the multi-Marini, or the cane Marini pieces really require a lot of effort.
Now isn't that lovely? Just a really nice piece. Takes on that shape. I'd say for me, there's a piece called a reticello. We're going to be making that a little later on this month, so stay tuned for that. It's a very difficult piece to make, and it actually uses cane, and you actually trap bubbles in the cane. So now that Todd has the shape, or the majority of the shape, Foster's going to be making a punty. Let's see if anybody knows what the French word for punty is, what that means. What's the translation?
I know.
So he's going to attach that punty to the bottom, or actually that's going to be the top where the hook will be. And he's going to place a drop of water right in that nice neckline he cut. You can actually hear it crackling when he puts that water on it. Just a light tap and it separates. Foster makes a long stem goblet that's very difficult to make. What, the goblet, Foster's what, the stems are about 4 or 5 inches long? Yeah, and it takes a lot of skill to keep that foot hot so it doesn't crack while keeping the mouth hot enough to open. So those are really difficult to make. You can see Todd selectively heating just the opening of that heart so we can finish off where it broke or separated.
Love the sound of breaking words.
Now these hearts make great gifts for friends, loved ones, for the holiday, Valentine's Day coming up.
Valentine's Day coming up.
We're happy to make them in any colors or any pattern that you would like. And they're really nice hanging in a window.
Alright, so we're going to clean this up a little bit.
So Todd pulled that a little bit. Now he's using those diamond shears just to lengthen it a little. Once again, we use that drop of water because water really chills the glass, and with a light tap, it separates right where that weak spot of the water was. You're right, Patrick, they also would look great on a Christmas tree. That's right, always thinking.
your Valentine's tree.
Just using those tweezers, give a little bit of a curve to the heart. Very nice. Let's hear it for Todd. That's really beautiful. Yes, Mary, a Grinch coming out of a heart would look amazing, but I think you would say a Grinch coming out of anything would look amazing.
Grinch lover.
That's right. No, Mary actually sent me a message. She had a great idea of her Grinch coming out of a Christmas bag. Kind of like a Santa bag where he's poking out of the top. I thought that was a great idea. We're definitely going to be doing that. So now Todd's getting a little bit of clear glass. This is going to be the clear glass. Not only to cover the punty, but also make the hook for the heart. You can see he's stretching up that clear glass, and you can actually see it starting to fall over, but he catches it with the tweezers. And he twists his tweezers around and makes that hook. Let's see if we can get a good angle where you can kind of see through the opening. Very nice. Todd uses that metal hook. Really nice job. Let's hear it for Todd. Let's see those thumbs up, some hearts. Let's show Todd the love. Really nice job. Let's see if we can take a peek in there. There, just sitting. Let's see some of the other guys we made today. Very nice. Thank you, Todd. All right, let's take a walk over to the table. We do have some of the paperweight hearts left. Very few of them, though. They were made by friends of ours that are unfortunately no longer around. But I think we do have just a couple more left in the gallery. So today we have stemware, $147 a pair. The rocks glasses are $80 a pair. Pilsners, $80. Mugs, $45 each. And hearts are $75. We can make those in any colors and designs you would like. Just to show you on the table. Here we have the black long stem iridized. I was telling you about Foster makes these, and it's really difficult to keep that foot hot when he's opening the mouth of the cup. Really tough to do. I'll have to let Theta answer that one, Carol Ann. I can't recall off the top of my head how much the decanter is. My son would be disappointed with me because he's a Boy Scout, and his motto is always be prepared. Here we have some of the mugs. Those are $45. Some of the different stemware, $147 a pair. And also the Pilsners. We can do those in any of the colors you'd like. Now remember, like, share, and comment to be entered in to win this glug mug in the cobalt color. Just a really nice glug mug. And what's cool about it is if you look inside, it's actually a constriction. And when you're drinking it, the liquid actually gets trapped in the bottom. And when it gets to the right point, all that liquid in the bottom comes out and you hear a glug sound. And that's the warning that that water or liquid's gonna hit you right in the face. So a really cool little mug. Some of the different stemware and the rocks glasses. We can make those in different colors as well. So please like, share, comment. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments or message us. Give us a call at 301-253-6642. And now up is one of Foster's stemless wine glasses in the multicolor.
So, Todd, you saw, used a wooden mold to get the shape of that heart that he just made. So, that type of a mold is actually called a stationary mold. He did not blow, or he did not turn the pipe while the glass was being inflated into the recesses of the mold. In this type of a mold, for the stemless wine glass, you can see the basic shape of the stemless wine glass. And this is what we refer to as a rotational mold, meaning that I will be turning the pipe as the glass, as I blow into the pipe to inflate the glass to fill the cavity in the wood. And the wood, by the way, is, again, it's cherry wood from the fruitwood family. The wood was turned green and remains in water for the life of the tool. I'm going to go ahead and set this up in this this jig that I have so that I can stand up on the mold, drop the pipe down in, and you'll see the rest in just a moment here.
And this mold really doesn't give it its finished size or shape. It just gives it its basic shape. But Foster still has to work the piece by hand. He has to open the cup by hand and do any finishing touches. So it just helps him get a basis for the stemless wine.
And so this is going to be a smooth, multicolor stemless wine glass that I'm making for you.
Gonna get that clear glass from the furnace. It's a little hard to see it, that glow. So the mold is actually placed in water between each use, Barbara, and that actually cools it for us and puts some water back into the mold. Because what's actually happening is that water in the mold is actually turning to steam, and it creates a layer between the glass and the wood, and that helps it from burning. And that also helps the wood not leave marks on the glass. So yes, we do put it in water between uses. Right there, he put some air into it, trap the air with his finger, and you can actually start to see that bubble expand. And I usually love seeing that, especially in clear glass. You can really see that bubble come out.
Now we're going to cool this off so that this glass on the end of the pipe, called the Parazon, P-A-R-S-I-O-N, will support the next gather or wrap of glass.
Now you just saw it start the smoke or steam right at the end there. And that was telling Foster, all right, the water's all burned away. It's time to dip the block in the water. So he's gonna get that second gather or wrap of clear glass. Yeah, David, it is pretty amazing watching that bubble come out. You can see he held it up there for a second. That let some of that clear glass just run back into the furnace. And you can see Foster's always turning that pipe. If he stops turning, that glass will actually run to the ground. Gravity will pull that glass to the ground. There, this is a type of different block to shape it.
Made of aluminum.
Yeah. And the aluminum does a really nice job of shaping and cooling the glass. Now he's picking up that multicolor frit we talked about earlier. It's pretty much just all the colors just mixed together. That kind of nice end of the day frit. Blow, trap the air with his finger. You can see it start to expand. Now these stemless wine glasses make a great way to use them and toast the new year. They come in pairs, and we can do them in any of the colors you would like. It's using that larger size block to cool and shape it. The jacks are used to cut down a neckline. That's the constriction at the end of the pipe, and that's where it will separate from the pipe
And that's required in order to get into the mold in that constricted area.
Yeah, you can see this is actually a closed top mold, which means it has about an inch opening, so he needs to cut down that neckline to match that opening at the top there. Foster is using that furnace or glory hole to reheat the glass right before going into the mold. Closes it, holds it with his foot. You can actually see he's turning. That keeps it moving. Absolutely, Patrick. We're always happy to help you with a gift certificate. That way you can give it to loved ones or friends as gifts, and they can pick out a lovely piece for themselves. How long will a mold last before you need to replace it, Foster?
Well, that depends on the, probably about 400 pieces being made, or 200 pair, before it's time to replace the mold.
So that's pretty good. So like Foster said, about 400 pieces, as long as you take care of it and making sure you're putting in water each time. There he's using his jacks to flatten the bottom. You can see the flat part of the jacks are pressing on the bottom, and it naturally made an indentation to allow room for the punty. You can actually start to see that really nice multicolored frit. You see Foster's actually hanging it from one of these arms, and that allows him to get a gather of clear glass from the furnace. And he's going to make a punty using a punty or pontoon iron. So we actually get our molds from a gentleman in New York named Art Reed at Sweetwater Glass. He's shaping that punty on that marvering table. Now the marvering table gets its name from the French word for marble. Before they had slabs of steel, they would actually use marble or sheets of marble. He attaches that rod, puts a drop of water on the neck, and a light tap, and it separates from the pipe. Really nice, and that's hard to do by yourself. Really nice, Foster. Foster's now concentrating the heat of that furnace on the mouth or rim of that cup. Now there's only a small bit of glass holding that stemless wine glass to that metal pipe. So every once in a while he needs to place it all the way inside, and that's to bring some heat to that small bit of glass called the punty. Now if that punty gets too cold, you know what can happen. We saw it a little bit earlier. That piece can come off before he's ready for it to come off. So we don't want that to happen. So every once in a while you'll see him place it all the way inside to bring some heat to that punty. Liz says, great job, Foster. Really nice.
Thank you, Liz.
Cheryl says, great job. Very nice job. Yeah, David Hogan, it was a great transfer. Absolutely. Yeah, so this, Cindy, is actually what we would call a confetti stemless wine glass. It has that multicolor on the bottom.
I'm going to keep that and open it up one more time to bring it to its completion.
Now remember, please like, share, and comment. Tell us where you're from. Tell us if you've seen us before, maybe at the Renaissance Fair, you've been out to our studio. All those likes, shares, and comments get you entered in to win this really lovely Cobalt glug mug. Now, Brittany was actually our winner last week and got this nice kind of elf ornament. Congratulations, Brittany. So please like, share, and comment, and do share with your friends. I'm sure they would love to watch one of our streams, and we'd love to have them here. These are actually called paper jacks or paper pegs. And they're actually cardboard that's been soaked in water, and it actually allows Foster to open the glass. And it doesn't steal as much heat as the metal jacks do. So they're a really nice tool. He's actually putting pressure down as he rolls, and that shapes the glass. David Hogan says he bought his first piece maybe 20 years ago, Foster.
Gosh.
Now those calipers are used to check the opening, along with the calipers for the height.
And we're good to go.
And it looks spot on. Really nice job. Let's hear it for Foster. Really nice piece.
Okay.
I don't have a sound machine like Todd does, so.
Oh.
So there he's just chilling the punty. What? Thank you, Todd. A light tap and that cup separates from the punty. Really nice.
Very nice.
You can actually see all that multicolor.
Cool.
Really well done, Foster. Thank you. Let's walk over with them.
Oh, yeah, look at those colors.
Yeah, look at that multicolor in there.
Nice.
Hey, Todd. And let's check out our pieces from today. Really nice. We have that heart, the piece Foster just made, the stemless wine. We have the decanter, along with the Cobalt Pilsner, and that really nice champagne flute Foster made with the green and the blue. Really great day.
Excellent.
Let's hear it for Foster. Thank you. Let's hear some hearts and thumbs up for Foster.
Let's hear it for Josh. Let's hear it for Todd. Thank you a lot, folks.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. Thank you.
Fun.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not the one.
Yeah, let's hear the sound machine. Love it. Just a quick run through. Stemware, $147 a pair. The rocks glasses we're happy to help you with. The Pilsners, mugs, and hearts. If there's anything on the table, you can do a screenshot or just describe it for us, and we're happy to help you with those. I really love the long stems. Takes a lot of skill to make those.
Okay. And Britt.
Wow, Brian has about 30 pieces, he said. Brian Ritter has about 30 pieces.
Yes. Thank you, Brian. And
Thanks, Rachel. Foster did excellent, absolutely.
so Brittany, who won this,
Yeah.
she just placed an order for some long stem goblets in the amethyst color.
Really nice,
And-
Brittany.
yeah,
I agree with you.
Thank you so much.
Those are actually exceptional pieces. It takes a lot of skill to make those. Yeah, really nice pieces. Now the decanters are $125 for the decanters, and we can do those in different colors.
Or violet, excuse me.
Yeah, Brittany got it in violet, the long stems. We can do the hearts. You can choose your color you'd like for us to make. The Pilsner glasses. Well, thank you, folks. We hope you are going to have a great new year. If we can help you with anything, feel free to give us a call, 301-253-6642. Feel free to give us a direct message on Facebook or send us an email. We're happy to give any gift certificates we can help you with, so you can give gifts for friends or loved ones. And we'll see you in 2021. We got some great glass coming your way in 2021, so check us out. Stay tuned on Facebook, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you folks very much.